Turn down sound. Okay, so hello out there in internet land. We're going to be taking a look at this book. It is called Deborah L. McDonald's Some of This and That Coloring Book. This book is designed not to create beautiful, wonderful, oh wow art. This book is a little bit of this and that to use all the different kinds of things you might have, your pastels, your markers, your pencils, your ink pens, your gel highlighters, crayons, and just see how they look and how they work on the designs in this book. You're given chances to try it again, do it this way, do it that way. And I, I, I will encourage people to share it in the D. McDonald Designs Coloring Book on Coloring Club on Facebook with the I tried this. What do you think? Or I tried this and it sure didn't turn out the way I thought it would turn out, but it was an experience. And it's also a book of when I don't feel like doing, I don't know what, I could take this out. The pages are backed in black, which absorbs a lot of color. And when you're thumbing through your book, you're not seeing the bleed through that much from what you did on the other page. Also, if you just color in your book and you don't put anything behind the page, you don't see what's on the next page. That's the reason why I do the black on the back. All right, so we're going to move the camera around. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me as I flip the camera here. And we're going to take a look inside this book. Here we go. Around and around and around we go. Where we end up, I don't know. All right, I'm going to move the arm. Looking at some of the owls. These are some of the cutouts that are going in a card, a create a card thing that I'm working on a lot. All right, I got to push my keyboard in so I can do this. All right, some of this, that. The name is on the spine, which means the book is fairly large. Enjoy coloring fun for all. Simple on the back. Then we open up the book, and there are some small samples that work well with Amazon. The little itty bitty teeny tinies. And this is a book of this and that. Some of this, some of that. Some is line art, some is grade, some is darker. I also played around a lot with this book, and it is a variety. There's a variety of this and that. So paging through, some of it I've worked on. I've been really working on the lines of cards, hundreds of them. What are you going to choose? You could color in the white, leave the balls. Color the balls, leave the white. There's a lot of decision making. These are not the same. They're a little bit different and really designed to just play around with, okay, I give you a page like this. What do you feel like doing with it? On one day you may use something different, but it really is a book about using crayons, markers together, pastels, whatever you have laying around that you're not very comfortable with. It's a very good experiment book. Just experiment with what you have. Color in the background or the foreground. Leave it be. It's a really good book to grab and take when you have to go and wait somewhere, because you can definitely just take an ink pen. Here, all I did was this is a beaded purse. I create beaded purses, and I use yarn and Mardi Gras beads. And so here I just chose to do where the yarn is, and I'm leaving the beads alone for now. And this one also, I will probably do the background first. It's a really good, I don't feel like doing much at all. So you just take out an ink pen and you start following where the dark is. Like, okay, I've got to listen to this, or I have to wait and do that. Long ago, I used to have to wait in the parking lot to pick my children up from school. This would have been the perfect thing to have grabbed a clipboard, one ink pen, and I could have sat there for however long it took, waiting for my children so I could pick them up. There, see how that pops it out? Just a fun book. Here too, I think in the back I did this. Some really pretty cats without the design. Here I'm playing around. Like I said, it's about playing around with what I have. Here, okay, I don't feel like coloring. I mean, it's really just, it's stuff. And so I decided to put a heart in there, and then I will go along and I use my gel highlighters for that. These are beautiful flowers. It's also an interesting book just to look at what I picked out to put in here. This is from a shopping trip I took from like a Michael's store, and I just photographed things that caught my eye. The owl caught my eye. It's right on the shelf. It's a what am I going to do with this? You may turn the page and go, what will I do with that? So it also sort of activates parts of your brain that it doesn't clearly tell you what to do. There's no right or wrong at all in this book. It's do it whatever strikes your fancy. These are really pretty. I'm right now. I think I have it on here. I've been taking an ink pen and just going around the outer parts of these flowers. So there's flowers in here. There's just a little of this and a little of that. Here they get darker. For people who are not comfortable yet with coloring in grayscale, this is an excellent book to see how you like or don't like grayscale, what you can do with it, um, or not. Here's where I used an ink pen, and then I used a green Crayola marker over it. Plain. It's okay. You don't have to worry about ruining it. There's plenty of pages. This is blown up so you can get real deep in there and try whatever you own. Here again, I took a design and just added color. I will probably go over this. I don't know. It is a play with it. The sunflower, so many different ways to color sunflowers. So here's a good practice. Here's getting close, deep and personal with the sunflower. This is cotton. It really is strange to look at because unless I tell you it's cotton, chances are you'd have no idea what this is. I see a bug. Where's the bug? Here. It looks to me like a bug of some sort. Some of this and some of that. This is really kind of fun. I've seen somebody color this. They did a remarkable job. There's so many different things you can do with this simple base. And then I did it just on a black background because it looked nice. So, on the first page, play with it, see what you like or don't like. And then, you can make some beautiful art out of this. It's just not the point of the book. The point of the book is to play with what you're given and see what you can do with it. Kind of like a puzzle. It's a coloring puzzle book of what will I do? I don't know. Some of the pictures will jump out and I'll go, I know what I want to do with that. And some of them say, I don't know. And this is going to be very different if I decide to go and blacken in the spaces here and then let that ink dry and go over it probably with like a highlighter would be good. I don't know yet. And you can do this one this way and do something different down there. There's no rules to this book. No rules at all. Here we have some more really big flower, a sunflower I started working on with everything I own except I haven't reached up to get my pastels. I do intend to grab those. And the chalk, the messy stuff, this is a good book for the messy stuff. So it really gives you a good opportunity to play around with grayscale floral and not stress over it. This is total stress-free coloring. Here I did use the ink pen and the highlighter, and I like that. A purple ink pen, a glitter pen, and then I just used highlighter over it. I think that looks pretty good. A shelf full of boxes. This vase is very pretty and fun to play with. So here, I'm going to flip this over a little bit. What I did on this one is I took a black ink pen, and you can see how I added the black ink where there wasn't any. I was working on creating some dimension. And then I got that far and said, okay, I'm going to move on. And I did this part, but I left this blank. I mean, not done, so I could show you. You can see where I hope you could see, where I used the black ink, and I chose not to yet. That's for the purpose of you to see how amazing just simple black ink on a design can do, what it can do. This is just really pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know, but I'll come up with it eventually. Here are the swirly things, and where I did the inside, and how different that's going to make things if you stick with the same color or you switch it off. It's a think book. Think and don't be afraid. If it doesn't turn out, who cares? Who, said the owl. All right, here I got farther on doing the black in the back, leaving the pearls. Here I did a little bit. I did the background, And then I came through with a pink, and it was a gel highlighter pen. Glitter pens first. I even made a little note. Glitter pens first. Working on the sunflowers because I know that I haven't quite exactly come up with how I really want a sunflower to look when I'm coloring it. So practice, practice, practice. And again, gel highlighters. I let that dry, let it sit up for a couple days, and then I came over it with crayon. That's how I got that darker purple in there using just plain old Crayola crayons. Here's another one of the purses I've made that's in grayscale, which is really a photograph, but it's muted out a little bit so it's not quite so dark. So you have a choice of what you want to do with it. And that's it. That's a look at this book. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for liking. I thank you for putting any kind of comment down there at all. And you never know when I'm going to contact you because you wrote a comment and you might just be getting one of the Deborah L. McDonald loot envelopes filled with all kinds of thank you things. And with that, I am going to be done with this. End the stream. Yes, I am. The link is in the description for where to buy the book.